In this video here, I just want to show you that functions can be more complex. In most of the previous functions examples that we've seen one line of code. But functions are able to save us multiple lines of code. So here we have multiple calculations happening in our function called define analyze numbers, and that's taken in a parameter called numbers, and this parameter numbers is taking in that value. It's going to calculate the total, which is the sum of the numbers, and it's going to count the length of the list of numbers that has been inputted. So it'll give us the sum of all the numbers that have been inputted, the length of the list of numbers inputted, and then it will calculate the average, which is the total divided by the count, which can then print the average. So we've calculated the sum, we've calculated the length, and then we can calculate the total. So notice we've done 1, 2, 3, 4 steps within there before we do steps 5 and 6, which is doing the above average value above average, and it's then doing a simple length function that is determining um, how many numbers are above average in a one-liner. This is a little more advanced, and if you work your way through understanding simplified if and for loops, this is a neat little thing to explore. And then we can print how many numbers are above average. Once we get down to our actual standard code, so we have our definitions at the top. In general, we will separate those near the top of our code in the general, not always the case. But then we have our numbers list. So we have created a list here of a series of numbers, and then we run analyze numbers on that, and you see here that it has calculated the average of those numbers and printed that out as per this line, and then there are three numbers that are above average, and that was determined here and then printed here. But notice we can call this multiple times and save all these lines of code. So if I was to create a numbers list 2 and make a new list, we could then analyze numbers and do numbers list 2. Notice how much it does both calculations, but notice that we don't have to write all this code multiple times. It's only done once.